So how's it going, everyone? I haven't put that up for a while. I haven't really had a need to or a want to. I've just been kind of getting along with things I have to do here for myself. But you know, I have kept in touch with everything that's going on. And I saw a post there by a chap called Mark Lifford or Lyford from the UK, who has set up that pigeonracingnetwork.com. And you know, there's a lot of, I won't say a lot, but there's some negativity out there about what he's doing. And really, if we all look back on our own sport and our own federations and our own organisations over the last few years, well, certainly even in my lifetime of pigeons, and I'm 42 years of age now, and I suppose I've physically been involved with the board since I was about 8 or 9. So I haven't seen any major changes by the decline in numbers, the reduction in numbers of people that are actually involved in the boards. And you know, there is a bit of spirit out there to want to change things and try and improve the situation. Mark is one of the people that would be actually physically trying to do something about it as an independent individual, and trying to get others on board to work with him. There's a lot of benefits in doing things like that, because the bureaucracy that's involved in the organisations, and rightly so, has to be there because people have to be accountable, slows the process of change or the process of doing anything. However, when you're doing something as an independent member or an independent individual, you don't answer to anybody and you just carry on with what you want to do and hopefully influence things in a positive way, because there's nobody actually tries to do something with the intention of making things worse. So, for example, Mark in his situation at the moment is trying to improve the pigeon scene in the UK and Ireland by setting up this pigeon racing network. There's a recent thing there that he's put up about setting up a championships for the UK and Ireland, similar to what's in Belgium and Holland and all of that, and their race systems. And that's fantastic, and why not? Because it can only put us in a positive light with each other. But one thing I don't get is the naysayers, you know. There's people out there with such a negative attitude. Lads, if you're not prepared to do something positive yourself, why would you be backbiting on somebody who's trying to do some work? Why would you be backbiting on somebody who's trying to do something in a positive light? You know, we've all got good intentions. We all want to see the sport benefit. But when somebody takes a step out of steps out into the limelight and publicises what they're doing, there are so many people out there that are naysaying, and I just don't understand it. If you're not prepared to do the work yourself, then back somebody else up who is prepared to do the work. You know, why not? You know, and I actually understand as well, everybody has a life to get on with. You know, we all have our own shit to do. Everybody does. You know, so when somebody takes it upon their own back to try to do something positive, why would you backbite? Why would you be negative about them? Let them get on with it. And if you don't want to help them, don't say that negative about it. Let them do what they want to do. Mark, in my eyes, don't know the man, but he's trying to do something positive. And in doing something positive, he won't only benefit himself, he will actually benefit the whole system, the whole sport, if he's successful. And the only way he's going to be successful is if we all get on board with him. If you're not going to get on board with him and you're just you want the status quo to stay the same, nothing's ever going to change. And certainly nothing's ever going to improve. The racing scene in Ireland here is crazy at the moment. You know, in Ireland in the Irish fancy, years ago, the focus was on getting the pigeons long distance racing into France. You know, that was most people's game years ago. Now it's all about the sprint mentality. And look, that's fair enough as well. There's, as far as I'm concerned, there's room for all. You know, but the racing scene in Ireland definitely needs to change. Whatever about the UK racing scene, the Irish racing scene definitely needs to change in my eyes. You know, we race Talbany and Penzance year in, year out, and we're slaughtered. 70-80% losses is absolutely unquestionable. It's crazy that the South Road Fed, the East Coast Fed, all the feds in Ireland still race Talbany and Penzance with the slaughter that we're told happens, and the losses that happen from those race points over the last few years, and we still race them. St. Malo, the French races, Alouestre, they're all the same. You know, I've been harping on about this for the last couple of years myself, about where the race points should or shouldn't be. I tried to get involved and change it internally, you know, with the IHU NFC. put proposals there, got race points, the whole shebang, but people didn't want to change, you know. And if people don't want to change, you know, so be it. That nothing is going to change. It's certainly not going to improve. But then when people do want to change things and people put themselves out there to change them, for example, Mark, and is doing it off his own back, and then you have all the naysayers saying no, 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 or why would we do this kind of thing? Well, why wouldn't you do this kind of thing? And the reason why you wouldn't do it is because you want it to stay the same. Why would you want it to stay the same? The numbers are declining. Racing is changing in our lifetime, in front of our eyes. And if we don't do something to stop it and to increase the numbers, we're at a loss. I mean, I know here in Ireland, the youngest member in most clubs is probably in their 30s, mid to late 30s even. I mean, that's an average, you know. There's a rare member that's actually younger than that might be in their 20s, you know. There's a few around, like, but there's very few in my eyes, and I don't know many of them myself personally. I could be wrong about that. I'm not sure exactly what the age profile is in the UK of all the fanciers, but I know in Belgium as well, and Holland, the age profile is getting older and older. So without doing something to bring in young people into the sport, we're fighting a losing battle. And the sport will be gone as we know it. For myself, I would love to see more racing in the UK from Ireland, but out of Talby and Penzance, go across the UK into Reading, you know, way down as far as you can on the opposite coast. So when we're racing from those kinds of race points, the boards have their line of flight when they hit the Irish Channel and the English Channel, and they just cross. Whereas when they get lived in Talby and Penzance, I've harped on about this, they're probably going up. In fact, they're not probably, it's been stated. They're seeing water either side of them on the two peninsulas that are Talby and Penzance, and they head inland for 20, 30, 40, 50 miles. Then they turn around and take a run at the water. And in between that, then they're getting hit by birds of prey and all, which is what we've been told for the last few years, certainly from the UK fanciers in those areas. Even the French racing, in my eyes, needs to be deeper into France. Like, we're worrying about 300-mile races. You know, when boards can fly 600 and 700 miles a day, and it has been proven in the UK that it has been done, 600, 650 miles, Brian Denny's done it on the day. It can be done in good conditions. So I don't see why Irish pigeons can't be sent a bit deeper into France. You know, we're racing 380 miles out of France, 400 miles out of France. Go in another 50 miles or 60 miles. You know, go into 400 miles. Hit that 400 mile mark. The boards are going to have a run at the coast before they hit water. You know, they'll have a line of flight before they hit water. That's all we need for them. And they should keep motoring once they have a line of flight. I could be totally wrong. But the thing about it is, when you change a race point and you move one, and we'll just take, for example, Reading. That's over across the other side of the UK from Ireland. If you have one smash race from that kind of race point, everybody gives out about it. They don't give out about the losses that happen year in, year out, or 5 or 6 races on the trot in a year from the UK, 4 races minimum, 2 Talby and 2 Penzance from the UK. Nobody gives out about those kind of losses. But they're happening. And without changing something drastically, without changing the system, without changing the structure of how we do things, nothing is going to change. You know, nothing is going to change. But don't be giving out about people who want to change the system, who are taking it off their own back to do the work to change what's happening and to improve the attitude people have towards the pigeon fancy. Well, if you're not going, like I said at the start, you're not going to do something positive yourself, don't be naysaying against people who are doing something positive. Get on board with them. Help out in the background if you don't want to put your own face out there. You know, and that includes me. You know, I've been harping on about trying to get to Barcelona for the last few years. You know, my own personal circumstances have changed. That doesn't mean I've stopped the vision for other people to be able to do it. You know, I sent the Poitiers last year. I sent the Poitiers with another chap. He's actually sending 2 again this year, which is fantastic. I was on the phone to me the other day. Absolutely over the moon from hope. And he got one last year, by the way. He got one after 3 months. How it got home, I don't know. Can't say. But it got home. And it's there again. And now he's sending another 2 back to Poitiers to have a go with them. But for us in this kind of racing and longer distance racing, especially in Ireland, if we don't send the boards, we're never going to get them. We're never going to know. If there's a fear factor of sending the boards on further, we're never going to know. People harp on at me telling me you need a convoy of boards coming through. You need a good number of boards coming through. I personally don't believe that, but look, each to their own. And if everybody gets on board and more numbers are sent, that's even better for everybody else, you know. But don't be giving out about people who are trying to do something positive. Don't be harping on about people negatively who are trying to do something positive for the sport if you're not prepared to. Either get on board or just let them get on with it. Because if the positivity works out, it benefits everybody. It doesn't just benefit the fella who does it, it benefits everybody, even the naysayer. So if you're going to be a naysayer, just let people get on with it. You know, if you're not going to row in with the change, then stick with the old systems and don't change. That's your own prerogative as well. We all have those choices. For me, I think it's bonkers if anybody does, because the system hasn't changed and nothing has improved. So we do need a drastic change in the system to make it more successful for everybody, and hopefully bring in a bit of new blood. I think I read something or saw something there last week regarding what's available for kids these days to do that doesn't require as much time as pigeon keeping and pigeon racing. And to be honest with you, there's quite a lot, you know. There are the phones, there are the games, there's, you know, football. There's everything there was when we were kids, but there's a lot more. For me, that's exactly what it's about. It's about giving the kids something that they don't have right now. And they don't have a will to keep pigeons for several reasons, you know, because the phones are there, the games are there, you know, the parents let them do that. That's fine, that's each their own. I have kids here, you know, they're not allowed on their phones all the time, you know, they're allowed a limited amount of time, and then they're out the door and they go out playing with their friends and what have you. And the cost factor in getting into the sport is crazy as well, like, you know. And there's a lot of goodwill out there with a lot of fanciers when I see new people coming in. A lot of goodwill. But again, I'm in a loft here. It's 25 foot wide. It's 8 foot deep. And the cost of building a loft like this is just about $2,000. So €2,000 to build something like this, like, and that's without labour. That's just building it myself. That's all the materials in it, what it costs, outfitting it, the whole shebang. And that's cheap because I did it myself. Yeah, you know. There are smaller lofts out there for new beginners, but again, it's a cost factor inherent in everything. And I understand that there's a cost factor in changing things and starting a new process, because in any sport, football, kids football, whatever they do, it always costs money to start them off in it. And it is a deterrent though, because starting pigeons can actually cost a lot of money at the start. But then you have goodwill out there as well. And everybody, there's a lot, for all the naysayers I've spoken about in this video, there are a lot more goodwill people out there who help new people in the sport, who do the charity auctions, who do it all for everybody with no thanks. And actually, I for one want to thank everybody that does do a bit of positivity for the sport and it puts a bit of goodwill out there and doing the charity auctions, or helping a new member, or helping a young person, or helping an older person with boards. You know, fair play to everybody who does that, because we need more of that to improve and change the sport. But we also need the front runners who are willing to stick their neck out and make that change. And we need to back those front runners up. Without backing them up, nothing is changing, because the bureaucracy in the organisations puts us at a standstill, because they have to follow the bureaucratic process of getting everybody involved and having a big discussion around what needs to be done and what needs to be changed. And to be honest with you, in most of the organisations at the moment, the people that are in there running the bureaucracy don't want to change. They want to maintain the status quo because it's the way it's always been. And that's also fine, because us as fanciers leave it that way. We don't vote to change. And if you don't vote to make a change in your AGMs and in your organisations, certainly nothing's going to change. So we do need people like Mark Lyford or whoever else wants to stick their neck out there and try to influence things positively, you know. And Mark, I'm actually sorry for using you as the example here, but you're just the most recent one that has come to light. And I was actually just watching your video the other day, okay? So yeah, if you're not going to get on board with people, don't be bad mouthing anybody. Let them at it. Let them do what you're not prepared to do, and row in with them. Then we'll see some change in the pigeon sport, and then we might get some new blood in. It would be fantastic to have new blood in. Okay? So I think I've harped on enough now about this, and hopefully this is taken in a positive light. This is not a negative, this is about positivity. This is about getting things done. And let the people who want to do it, get it done. You know, no matter what comes or goes in me in my lifetime, I will always touch base with pigeon sports. It's in my blood. I absolutely miss it like crazy. I didn't realise how much my own time and seasons revolve around looking after the boards and what the needs of the boards are. And it's something I miss terribly. As you can see, all the gear is still here. Because I'm still waiting on decisions. So there we are. I hope everybody's racing season is going well. I hope all your breeding season has gone well. I know most people are finished breeding. I know some of the distance-minded fans will probably still be breeding the last round of youngsters. But I hope things are going well for everybody. You know, keep the head up, keep it positive, and keep moving. Because without moving forward, we're stagnating. And if we stagnate, we're in the war. Good luck to everybody.